Good morning. What's up, guys? Today's Wednesday, day 26 of our 30-day challenge. Man, what do we got for you guys today? Updates from yesterday. Um, so that buyer that we called, I ended up getting to chat with him a little bit more. I had to follow up with him that evening. I was like, hey, what were your thoughts on the property? Um, Now for him, it was like later in the evening, so I shot him a text. Normally, this is a conversation I want to have on the phone, but a lot of buyers, sometimes it's especially if it's like a newer relationship, sometimes it's kind of hard to get them on the phone, right? Especially if they're experienced flippers, they're busy guys. So you just got to be a little bit delicate sometimes. So for him, he kind of did the one thing that like it always annoys me. Um, so I was like, hey, did you get a chance to look at the property? Now, this is for the property to where we're really trying to help out um, that woman, Diana, and we're trying to help her out with the deal. Excuse me. To where she's got the hard money loan. She needs to get, money back for her mom. So this was the deal I was asking about. And I'm like, hey, I was like, what were your thoughts? And he's like, well, he shoots me back a text. He's like, well, this one over here just sold for 290. I'm like, okay, here we go. Right. And so I'm like, bro, that's, blah, blah, blah about the house. Like, it's not even rehabbed, come on. Right. And he's like, well, this one over here sold for 301. I'm like, dude, it's one car garage. I was like, and it's an as is. Like, it's not even rehabbed. Right. And he's like, well, because in the beginning, he's also like, well, if we were to do it, like, it's probably going to be like a 75K rehab. This is the annoying thing is if there's ever a buyer listening. I'm interested in being educated. Yes. But, like, there's good ways and bad ways to go about it. For me personally, I kind of get a little annoyed if it's like, dude, you're just throwing out things to like try and beat it up, right? Beat up the property, beat up the price, where it's like, dude, I know there's those comps. Like I looked at them, like there's nothing informative you're telling me about this property as to how it applies to this one or the price. What I would prefer personally is say, hey, here's what I'm looking at. I would probably need to be closer to this price. That's helpful. But right now, I'm just in a conversation where we're back and forth on comps on other properties. And the whole time I'm wondering, like, well, bro, you've said absolutely nothing about price. So are you telling me you can't do it? Are you telling me you're not interested? Are you trying to warm me up for like, hey, this is the price I want to be at? Like, come on, let's get to the chase. But guys, this is sales marketing, right? So you got to play the game. So we go back and forth, and he's throwing out these comps. And again, guys, right? This comes to we've talked about this before, right? About being prepared for these conversations. Be prepared for these kinds of objections from your buyers whenever you're talking about specific property. And I was, right? So we had a good back and forth, and then finally, so I was trying to get him to tell me whatever it was he wanted to tell me. And this is kind of a technique you can use with sellers too, to where you go for the no, right? You go for the takeaway, take it off the table. And basically, I shoot him text. I'm like, got it. It sounds like this one's probably not the right fit for you. And I'm trying to get him to feel like crap, like, okay, like I'm trying to like hustle a better price. I don't want the deal to go away. And didn't get a ton of feedback from him, and it was kind of like some more back and forth. I'm just like, dude, what price do you need to be at? And he's like, I probably need to be at like 190, 195. And so I'm not even going to let him know that that's an option. Even if that's really the price he needs to be at, it's hard to tell at this point. Just because he's coming up higher on the rehab than anybody else. He's kind of just throwing out a number. So I just took it off the table. I'm like, cool, man. We'll just call it a no on this one. hey, for future stuff, what are you looking for? Right. And I took it off the table and then, pivoted the conversation in a different direction. He might still be interested. A lot of time when you do that with sellers, guys, don't be surprised when you get a call or a text back either later that same day or the next day. And they're like, well, hey, hold on. I know we said, we needed a minimum this much, but we talked about it. If we could at least get this, we can do the deal. And they're like, oh man, that's crazy. Caroline, what info to ship? Southern random, my computer. I got her logged in and provided everything to Allie. Things should continue to move forward. Perfect. All right, so that deal that's supposed to close was supposed to close this week. So that's probably going to get closed. That's probably going to close on the last day of our challenge, which is pretty crazy. That one. So I spoke with the title company yesterday because the agent reached out to me and she's like, "Hey, title company is saying that we can't close it until like the 14th or 15th." She's like, "What's up with that?" So I'm like, hold on, let me call them. So two things. One, the title company's like, yo, to be completely honest, they're like, dude, we're slammed this week. They're like, I really don't know if we could, we had like 8 or 9 closings get pushed up this week. So, and we can like barely handle everything that we've got going on right now. So I was like, okay. And then she was like, 2, so for that deal, there's a family member that signed over power of attorney. She's like, so this was the thing that was kind of frustrating because originally earlier in the week she was like, yeah, we spoke to her, she said she's fine with it, like we're good to go. It's like, okay, great, we're ready to set up closing. Well, now she's like, well, in that conversation she said she wanted to be the person to sign. She doesn't want power of attorney to sign on her behalf, but which is fine, but the issue is that the information that they need to get her set up for closing, they weren't able to get back in touch with her, and she wasn't responding to anything, whatnot. And the sellers are like, dude, this is what happened. And the annoying thing is I kind of leaned on title a little bit because I was like, guys, like, you should have handled that better. Right? And title's freaking out because they're like, well, it's legal issues, or it could be a legal issue. Not really, but I'm not an attorney. But I understand their concerns. But if they had just framed the conversation, this is where, like, guys, conversations and effectively communicating in all areas. I don't care if you're a title company. I don't care if you're a real estate agent. I don't care if you're a wholesaler, a fix and flipper, a landlord talking to tenants. I don't care if you're a parent with kids. It all comes into play, right? It is so powerful being able to have effective conversations. So, long story short, agent texted me this morning. They got it all sorted out. We're good to close. So it's literally just, we're going to set it up probably either Monday or Tuesday next week. Cool. That's for the updates. Guys, let's get some new deals on the table. First thing we're going to do is we're going to call Monica. She didn't text us back yesterday. She didn't get back to us. But first I'm going to text Caroline. Amazing. Thanks so much. Also, Caroline, the seller, dude, her and I built really good rapport in this transaction. You guys heard some of the conversations with her, but me and her have talked a ton of times from whatever the last conversation you guys heard. Just with updates, things with title, this and that. And so that's going to be a great relationship for me to hold on to. And dude, she wants this thing to close too. She's like on the same, and that's the biggest thing is, especially, it's not like, it's the agent versus, the wholesaler versus the buyer versus us. Like, it is so important to keep reiterating. And this is what I did with Caroline the whole time. And it was a little rocky in the beginning. You guys got to see those parts, but it definitely took some work, but we got to smooth it out. But constantly, reiterating that, hey, we're on the same team. Hey, we both want this to close. And she really wants this to close, right? As the agent, that's their number one thing. Like, it's the same kind of outlook as that. Like, dude, they don't get paid unless the deal closes. Same as us. So they want it to close. And so that's been amazing. So we've been able to work through a bunch of stuff, and she's been, dude, she's a good agent. She's a good agent. Anybody in Orlando look to sell retail, dude, hit her up. She's good. All right, cool. Let's call Miranda. Miranda, where's your number? All right, there we go. Oh, not Miranda. Why am I saying Miranda? Monica. Monica. Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. Let me get my emails all set up. Present, share screen. I got to present over here first. Which screen am I? Hold on, let me. Okay, screen one. Share. Cool. We are in business. Privy email. We'll get that up here. We can get rid of the Facebook. Oh, no new goodies today from Privy. All right, that's okay. Let's get Privy here. Take my sip of water. Guys, if any of you are tuning in and you're like, yo, who's this new guy today? It's not the same person, still me, Nathan Valle. I just got a desperately needed haircut yesterday afternoon. Had to get that mop cut off from the top of my head. So thank goodness my head can like breathe now. I don't know if anybody else is like me. I feel like there's three types of people. There's like the normal people to where you get your haircut when it's needed. But then there's the people where it's like, yo, I get my haircut like every week, twice a week, almost, right? And then there's the people like me to where it's like, dude, I wait up until the point to where my significant other is like, yo, I'm going to leave you unless you get your haircut, right? Obviously, I'm kidding, guys, but yeah, I wait way too long to get my haircut. All right, where is Monica? Monica.
You've reached Monica Arias with LPT Realty.
Come on, Monica. She probably hasn't talked to him yet. Which is okay. It's like just,
Hello, this is Monica.
Hey, Monica, it's Nathan.
Hey, Nathan. What's going on?
Not too much. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I was just calling touch base, see how things went over with the seller.
Yeah, so he has decided not to make a decision until Friday. So he wants to wait a couple more days. We've had a bunch of people looking at the property. So he just wants to hold off until then.
Got it. Totally understand. One thing I will say, that's totally fine. I do know. I mean, will I definitely be able to get, a yes or no is fine. But will I definitely be able to get an answer by the end of Friday? Do you think?
Yeah. He's planning on making a decision. He told me he wants to make a decision Friday based off the offers that we've gotten in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the reason I asked is just because I do look at a number of properties, and I don't have unlimited resources, unfortunately.
No, I get it.
But yeah. I do want to make sure he's able to kind of make the best decision for him too.
Sure. Yeah. No, I understand completely. I hate to kind of drag it on. It's just this is what he's wanting to do. So, you know, I told him Friday, you know, because we do have people that are interested, and of course you have to kind of move on, you know, move along with your business as well.
Sure.
So he will be making that decision on Friday.
Totally understand. Okay, perfect. Well, I will look to reconnect with you probably sometime Friday afternoon.
Yep, that's fine. As soon as I know something, I will definitely reach out, or you can reach out to me for an update.
Okay, perfect. Sounds like a plan. Thanks so much, Monica.
Alrighty, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Okay, so that's a good update. So he's like, dude, he's considering it. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, a lot of interest is relative. There's different ways you can kind of handle that scenario. And this is the thing with real estate is like circumstances are different for every single deal. There's not always a, you know, one size fits all. As much as we want that to be the case, I know me personally, I mean, I love like, dude, like what's the one thing that I can use every single time, you know, to apply it? And I'll just figure out how to do that, like, you know, a little bit better, a little bit faster, a little bit more efficient. That's what I love, but that's not the case, right? You got to take all these other things into consideration. So this guy, so this property, we could have pushed, be like, yo, I need an answer, but it probably would have been just a no if we had pushed the envelope. One, because our offer is low. Like if they were to change the price, because like, what's the option? It's like, oh, well, I need a yes or no today. Well, dude, if we were to walk away, I mean, they've got up to $100,000 they could change on the list price to compete with my offer. If they were to drop this 100 grand, you know, do I think they could sell it? And does he think he could sell it? Probably, right? They'd probably be able to sell it to somebody. Hence why we made our offer the way that we did. Now, the other thing is, I'm not too worried about the other offers. Where it can go wrong is if they walk it, and see, this is the power of the difference between what we do and what other people do, where they just send out an offer. Somebody might just send out an offer at like 160, right? Or excuse me, not 160. They might, or well, yeah, they could send out an offer at 160, 150, and they might not have the terms that the seller really wanted. The other thing is if they call and talk to the agent, have a conversation, right, when they walk the property, unfortunately, after talking with her a little bit, she would probably be like, hey, if you could at least get around this price range, the deal would be yours. Right? So, but if it's people just sending like a blind offer, or they're just walking through and they don't know how to build rapport, they don't know how to you know, effectively communicate, and kind of the way that we've been through this challenge, dude, they're going to miss out on all that stuff. So is there a chance somebody else could get this deal? Yes. But the other thing is, this is a deal to where it's like, dude, it's a rough deal. If somebody else can pay more, like, I'm cool with letting them take it, because I don't know, you know. I put it at a number that I think we needed to be at. So, and it will help kind of give us an idea, because what I like to do is I'm going to get more information from her like on Friday, when I'm like, oh man, like, you know, were they just not interested in the property, or what kind of happened there? And more or less, I want to find out if they made an offer, you know, where were they at? And if it's like, yeah, but they wanted an inspection period, blah, blah, blah. Well, if their offers at like 150, 160, that's good to know, because it gives me an idea of like, okay, what are other people seeing and what are other people offering? Now they could renegotiate it after the inspection period. And on property like this, they probably would. But not too many guys would walk the property, make an offer, and then renegotiate like another 50 grand after doing an inspection. That's a bit much on a property like this anyways. So so we'll see. So this is in the works. That'd be cool if we could pick this up on Friday. Man, that'd be awesome, bro. We got the one closing next week. It'd be sweet if we could pick this thing up, because I think if we were able to pick it up, and we offered, it was like 97, like 97.5. I think we could sell it. I don't know about for how much, but I think we could sell it at that low to somebody. All right, cool. That's a good update. What other one? Kawani. We're gonna move this to orange, orangish as like my follow-ups. Monica, we just spoke with. Bumby. Oh, let me relook at this one. Let me make sure that they sold this. So they're still under contract, which would make sense. But let me just make sure there's no changes. Oh, look at that, guys. So we spoke to him. I don't know if you guys remember this house. So they went under contract, and he's like, yeah, it should all be fine. And then they went out of contract after inspection. And now they're back under contract. So, but they've been under contract for a little while. Looks like they probably made it past inspection. So it'll probably go through this time. We were pretty low on that one, but so they had to drop the price again on this house, and that's why you follow up. We could have, if we were more on top of this, like that could have been a deal. You know, like if you're right there, you know, for when that breakup happens, and you're like, hey, I've got this nice cash offer. You know, a lot of times they're like, dude, okay, yeah, let's move forward with that. Rather than wanting to relist it and go through the whole process. That's where you kind of see guys get these deals. It's like right after it falls out of contract with someone else. It's kind of like, I was a soccer player growing up, and the most vulnerable time to score a goal and be scored on is right after you score a goal. So, you know, game 0-0, you score a point. Like the next 5-10 minutes, that's the most vulnerable time for a second goal in the game to happen. All right, let's look at some of these other ones. Was there any other in particular we wanted to follow up with? Oh, let's look at this one. This one probably wouldn't be an issue. Okay, so they are under contract. I don't think he'll have an issue selling this one. But let's just look. Yeah. But they would still be in the inspection period. So I probably want to relook at this next week. And then that's who I want to call. I want to call Diana. So where are we at? So hard money has 170 that needs to get paid to him, and Diana's like, yo, I need 38,000, basically 40 grand to pay her mom. To pay her mom back. And that's the big one. The money to the mom. Let me just find the notes I wrote from her. So, okay, there we go. So yesterday, the one guy was like, yo, I probably need to be around like 190. That's lower. So if we just take the 170 and add 40 grand to it, we're at 210. That's without us making any money. And we do want to make something. So it's like, Nate, well, do I just walk away from that deal? No. Nope. We see what we can do. Because there's, guys, again, there's so many options. So many options. Because we don't really know the hard money situation, like, yet. until we have a conversation with him. Like, we really don't know how much has been paid to him, like how many points have been paid to him already. We have an idea of interest payments. Like, he might have already made like 30 grand. Who knows? He might be willing to drop how much is owed to him, depending on how much money he's already been paid. Or there's, I don't know, who knows? There's so many unique ways we could do it. So let me call Diana. Diana Garcia. The other thing is also, let me call. Let's call. Bro, do you guys remember the conversation we had with oh my gosh, what was his name? He's in Tampa. Now he's more of a wholesaler and flipper. Sort, was it Adrian? Just Kalov. Could call Renan, but I don't think it's really going to be a fit for Renan. I don't know. Renan's just, I love him, but it's hard to get him on the phone and get an answer from him. It's just a little too slow. God, who was it? Robert Eric. Who is it that I'm thinking of? I think I'm thinking of Adrian. Let me see if I have him in my text messages. There's a guy out of Tampa to where we have a really good conversation with him. Super chill dude. Let's see if it's in the notes. All right, big in Tampa. Per deal after expenses, harmony, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, let's call it. This is who I'm talking about. Let's call Adrian.
Please leave your message for Adrian.
Let's try one more time.
Please leave your message for
Adrian Perez.
Hey, Adrian, it's Nathan. Got a pretty unique deal here that I think could be a really good fit for you. Give me a call when you get the chance. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, Adrian. I got a pretty unique flip opportunity. I got a pretty unique flip opportunity that I think could be a really good fit for you. Is there a time this morning you could chat? All right. Send them the text. And then we'll try giving Renan a call, because I do like Renan. I do want to do a deal with him. but we'll see. We'll see if he picks up.
Hello.
Hey, Renan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, boss. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You interested in doing a flip?
Yes, always.
I love it, man. So this one it's so it's a unique situation, but it's got a lot of things that I think you'd like. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath. It now, do you do Kissimmee? Or is that
Kissimmee.
is
Yeah,
that
I do Kissimmee.
okay? So it's a 4-bed, 2-bath. It's got a 2-car garage. It's just under, it's about 1,750 square feet. So just over 1,700 square feet. Built 1973. Now this house, now it needs a full rehab. It's probably like a 60, maybe 70K rehab. So it is a full job. It's in that nice price point. I think I can get it for you. Right around. So well, this is kind of the unique part. So this one I'm honestly, I'm trying to help this person out more than anything. They so they bought it from a wholesaler. They bought it from a wholesaler with hard money, and it's this woman, Diana, and she had a partner to where she buys the house with the hard money and whatnot, and then she's got her partner that funds the rehab and does the rehab. Well, he backed out on her like last minute right after she bought it. And so she's stuck with this house. She can't do the rehab. And like she's losing money on it. And she's just trying to try to get it off her plate with, a few things, with just not even money towards her. She borrowed money from her mom. So there's a hard money loan that's currently in place for 170. Now, what I would set up, I'm in negotiations right now, but for this deal, I'm pretty sure I could set it up to where you would be able to take that over. So the money would already be in place. And then the only money that's really important to her is she wants to pay back her mom, which is another 38 grand. So there's a hard money loan for 170. And then there's 38 for her mom.
Gotcha. Did you follow the comps on the deal?
So yeah, the comps, that's where it's a little difficult because like there's as is comps selling for 290 to 300, which I know if you did like a 50K rehab, you could get that, you would hit that 290 to 300 all day. Now there's a guy, he did a flip. Now it is a little old, but he did it last summer, but he's been doing a lot in that area. He similar house, I mean, it needed a lot of work, but he sold it for 365. And it's like the only house with a really nice rehab on the inside. So if you do it really nice, I think you could get 350 for it, especially this summer. But yeah, that's something you'd have to look at.
Mm-hmm. I'm here. I'm just thinking. Are you there?
Yep. I'm here. I'm letting you think.
Okay. I like the idea, and at the same time, I don't like the idea. I mean, so I would take over the deal, or how would it work?
Yeah, so I've got to talk with the hard money lender. I'm gonna see if I can set up a unique situation because she's got a good relationship with the hard money lender. She's like, yeah, he'll definitely be open to it. Because I mean, dude, he's not gonna want to take back this house. Like, that's for sure. So I think he's gonna be willing to be pretty flexible. So I personally am gonna be talking with him probably today or tomorrow. And I'm gonna try to negotiate some like pretty favorable terms for you. I'm going to see if he's able to come down on what's owed. I'm going to see if, we can defer all the payments till, when the house is sold. I'm going to see if we can, because right now she's paying interest-only payments. So I'm going to try and negotiate all that with him. So, but yeah, he basically, you would be kind of stepping into the deal and then working with that hard money lender that's already in place. And then the other thing is the money to the mom. I'm going to see if there's a way that we can kind of negotiate that so that whether it's kind of in payments or if it's deferred till like the end when the house is sold. I'm going to try to set it all up so that it's the best terms possible for you.
Okay. Nathan, I'll be honest with you. That doesn't really sound something that I would be interested, because I don't know the hard money lender. Unless I work with my own hard money lender or my money, it's not. I mean, I wouldn't take anybody's mistake, to help nobody, like on my end. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it was a solid home that you would come up to me and say, listen, how's just this is that, I'm actually looking for a house right now. Last time we spoke, I wasn't, but I am now. But not at this scenario. It's not gonna work. I mean, I know. Knowing my dad, he wouldn't do it either. We just is a criteria we have.
Well, do you want to take a look at it and see if you'd be able to just pay, your cash for it? I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think you. I think it would be. Well, it kind of depends on what you're able to do the rehab for. But I think it'd be at least worth.
Let me get this call real quick. I'll call you right back. Give me a second.
All right. So he's probably not going to be a fit. I get where he's coming from, though. Like, I'd be hesitant too. Okay, didn't hear back from Adrian yet. And then who was? Which one was Liam? That's Miguel, not a good fit. Israel's probably not going to be a good fit. But he's probably not going to be a good fit. I might hit him up anyways. Let me call Diana, because a lot kind of depends on what we're able to set up with that. Because with a 60, 70K rehab and like the comps, like guys are going to be looking at these right here. And they'll be like, bro, this sold for 290. Bro, this sold for 301. Bro, this sold for 300. Right? 275. Like, this is what guys are going to be like, dude, what's the deal with all this? And they're also going to be like, dude, this one's listed for 343 and it hasn't sold. It's been listed like for a while. And my thing is I'm going to be like, oh, dude, but this one sold for 365. And they'll be like, yeah, but that's the only one, which is true. And there's these other actives. The thing is the actives don't help us right now either. Like the actives are like 340 and under. And they've all been sitting. So, excuse me. So let's call Diana.
Hi.
Hey, Diana, it's Nathan.
Hi, hello.
How you doing?
I'm
So yeah, I just wanted to reconnect. Did you get a chance to talk with your hard money lender at all?
I sent an email.
Okay.
Explain, and I wait for your response to can talk together.
Okay. So it's I've talked with a few of my guys. It's I'm struggling to try to piece it together. So help me understand, because I guess I'm a little confused. So I know you said 170 is what's owed to the hard money lender.
Yes.
And then, but there's also 38,000 that needs to get paid to your mom, correct?
Yes.
Was that 38,000 used for this property?
Yes.
Was that for like down payment to the hard money lender or?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you bought it for 210, right?
Yes.
Okay.
200 plus 200 plus closing costs.
Okay, so 200 plus closing costs. Okay. Do you know how much the wholesaler made? Off the top of your head?
I think so, because in the system, when you see the house, they say they sold the house for 170 something. I think so, 20,000. Take the person to sell the house out the market.
Got it. Okay. So 200. Okay, so I'm just trying to understand. So 200 grand is what you borrowed from the hard money lender, yes?
Yes, I have the whole document. If you need it, I can send you.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out and then how many payments have been made to him so far?
We do October, November, December, January, February, March.
Okay. October,
That is
November,
the reason
December.
I explain you that I'm going to lose that money.
Right.
But I don't want my mom to lose money, and I want to pay the hard money, And
Yeah.
that's it. That is the more important to me.
So we've got 6 payments at 1,800. They're 1,800 each, right?
It's something 1,700 something, but I tell you 1,800 because I don't remember exactly the number for it.
Right. Got it. Okay. So because here's what, like, the issue I'm running into is what did you think this house could sell for, like, after it's fixed up?
290, 300, 310, depends what kind you do in the remodelation, because we're going to put a new kitchen, the new roof, the bathroom we're going to remodel it completely, and we're going to put the other door for the garage door. They're going to have the 2 garage available, because now they have only 1 available, and they have 2 other rooms extra. They're going to put part of the house because they have AC, but they have a sliding door, and they're going to take the sliding door. And the house have completely 4 rooms, and one room they use for office, but they have a closet. And we're going to put the 4 room completely, and other room to put to the office to upgrade,
Yeah.
And the house is really big.
Okay.
And that is the more important. And they have other house in the same street. They do the remodelation that look really nice,
Yeah.
And that is the more important. But my only concern is they have different new construction, but it's more it's more in, ¿cómo decir que más entrado en Ponciana que no Kissimmee?
Further inside.
It's more inside in Ponciana, no say Kissimmee. But it's a new construction, but it's 320, something like that they do. And I saw that house because one client and I want to buy a house, but it's really inside Ponciana, in the last part, you know?
Yeah. Got it.
But
Okay.
this house is near 2 minutes from a Walmart, for everything, a store near bank and everything.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to figure out is just because so right now so there's the mortgage for 170, and then to pay your mom 38 grand, we'll just say 40,000, you know, to keep it simple. That would put us at a purchase price of 210, of a total of 210. And then so the hard thing is the rehab. I know you, from what, you know, the quotes and stuff you were looking at a $60,000 rehab. I know kind of what
I have the person to I have a code for the roof, 12,000. The more cheap because I have order for this 16, and the person to 12,000 I can call and we can do for this price. And the inside the house, everything, I have a code for 45,000. But I don't know if they continue with the same price or they change something. Right. I can send you the person so they can give you the estimate for you.
The hard part is even if the rehab is like 60,000, you know, that would, if we do 210 plus 60, you know, 210,000 plus 60,000, that would put us at our expenses at 270. And if it maybe only sells for 290, you know, that's not even including, like, you know, realtor fees on the back end and all that other stuff. So I'm having a really hard time figuring out, like, so there's the hard thing is, I think we could potentially do it for around like 185, 190, but that would, I mean, I know that would either mean the hard money lender's okay with accepting a little less, or, you know, I know your mom, we wanted to pay her the full amount.
Yes, I open to put when the house finished, put in the market, I going to charge 0 for me, for a realtor, and only can put 2% to the person to come to buy the house. I put in the MLS, I can put in the MLS free, because I know the situation, but we need to pay 2% to the realtor come to buy the house, to bring the buyer, you know?
Right. I mean, that's very generous. I know it would still, we'd probably want to use our own agent, just because they, you know, they know our processes. That's who we'd want to go with. But 2, it would still be very, very kind of narrow. I guess, is there any way that you think we would be able to kind of make that work?
Repeat, please, this part, please. What's just the last thing you told me?
I was saying is, you know, even with the realtor fees and stuff, it's very, very, very slim, very, very, very small spread. I mean, and even if we were at kind of, you know, between that 180, 185-ish, is there any way at all that it would be possible to kind of get to that number?
185. Let me see it. Let me check everything, and I going to to let you know. Let me take the number 185. Let me see. I call you. I text you later. Let me see what is going to have, and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, I mean, if the hard money lender needs 170, maybe you could work something out with him to say, hey, I can do this offer. And maybe he'd be willing to take a little bit less than 170. Like if he'd be willing to even take 165, that would be 165 would go to the hard money lender, and then that'd leave you with 25,000 to pay, to your mom.
Let me see everything. I'll let you know everything, okay?
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Diana.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, so we talked yesterday about asking the question, right? Now we got to learn that information. Now I also was asking questions because it wasn't adding up to me. Like it wasn't adding up the numbers as far as I'm like, dude, like everyone else is saying they're here. Like everybody else. Did she miss and that's why I'm like, what did you think the ARB was? And she's like 293. I'm like, okay, so like, dude, she's looking at what everybody else is looking at. Like they agree there. I'm like, okay. But and I'm like, how much did you pay for it? Because here's the other thing. I learned this in a previous career. It's not the most optimistic outlook, but in a previous job that I worked, everybody lies. And that was kind of something I got to learn through that previous career. And not necessarily that she's lying, but guys, not everybody wants to lay all their cards out. So she's saying she owes 170 to the hard money lender. She's saying she owes 38 grand to her mom. It doesn't even mean she's lying, but there may be more flexibility there than we really know. Right? So and I even kind of coached her on it a little bit. I'm like, oh, maybe you could ask your hard money lender, like, would he accept, because maybe she's paid him more, maybe she has a special relationship with him. Like her renegotiating with the hard money lender will go much better than me, right? Because if she's done a ton of deals with him, he might be willing to be like, look, if you can get this deal, because it also depends on dude, he this kind of house. He does not want this house. I'm telling you guys, he does not want this house, right? He's all in for 200. She's paid 10 grand in payments. That would put him at 190. Dude, that would put him at even for him, this would be a skinny deal. And it's a big project. He does not want this house. I could be wrong, but I'd bet my water bottle. I'd bet that he 100% does not want this one, right? It's not like if this was our other property on Beachman, right, where it's got the nice pool, everything's really clean on the inside, to where he could just relist it the next day. That's a different story. He'd probably want to take that one back, right? This house, nah, no way. So we kind of planted the seed in her head of oh, hey, if this 185, this can go further for you if you did this, if you renegotiated with the hard money lender, right? And then this would get this much to your mom. And we don't know the other things in the going on in the background, right? I don't know if she's got one or two other projects going on, right? To where she's like, dude, I'm gonna kill it on these two. I'll know I'll be able to pay her back, and I know I'll be able to pay this off. We don't know if that's the case. We don't know if for the hard money lender, he might be like, yeah, dude, I'm doing I've done a ton of deals with Diana. I want to keep doing more deals. Yeah, she got caught out on this one. Let's just cut the ties on this one. She learned her lesson, and let's make money on the next couple deals. If I was a hard money lender, that's how I would look at it. Now, the thing is he's not going to lose money. He just, but he might even be willing to. Probably not. But, you know, but would he be willing to break even or come really close to just, hey, if we can just break even on this one and then just move on the next deal? Cool. He might. He might, you know, depending on how close the relationship is and how much business they do together. So we'll see. We'll see what she comes back with. But for the amount that we've been working with her, dude, she's probably already gotten offers close to this, you know, give or take. The fact that we've been working with her this much, you know, she's serious. Like, it wasn't a hard no at 185. I thought it was gonna be, you know, but it wasn't. So so we'll see what she comes back with. Cool. Well, that went really well. All right, what else we got? What else we got? Anything new in here? And then we'll hear back from Adrian. Probably not going to be a good fit. That guy Edward that I spoke with last night. Now that's the other thing. Like, I didn't burn the bridges with him in that conversation, right? Because that would have sucked if I burned those bridges. One, I want to talk to him about, you know, other flips and other opportunities, and two, like, dude, if we're able to renegotiate this and he can buy this deal, it'd be sweet, right? If I'd burn that bridge, he'd be like, nah, man, like, go find somebody else. And we probably wouldn't be able to, or it'd be hard to. Honestly, at 185, we might be able to. If she says yes to 185, we could probably do it. Okay, and then what else do we have in here? Let's see. So we had this one with Tracy. I don't know if I showed this one to you guys. Were you guys a part of this conversation? So this morning's been like all follow-ups. Now, guys, here's the other thing. I'm really big on like prioritizing. You know, you got to prioritize your time, but you also got to prioritize like your leads. Some people may have different opinions on that, but like, you know, we talked about what's closest to the money, right? What's the hottest leads? You don't want to stop your lead gen. I'm not saying that. It's really important to have consistent new stuff coming in. But like, dude, you also like not at the expense, because this is what I see. I see people, they're like, yo, you got to be consistent with lead gen. You got to be consistent with lead gen, which is great. Like, you should be. But they do that at the expense of like the warm and hot leads that they've got on the table. And then those end up falling through the cracks because people don't follow up with them. And like, these users are like, oh, well, I got to do my, you know, like, I'm bringing new stuff to the table. So like, that's cool. But it's like, the only things you're going to get are the, like the ground ball, the seller that's like, you know, a yes today. And those are few and far between. Follow up, follow up, follow up. These are the most important calls. So this house, we talked about making an offer. We talked about the type of offer that we could do. And we kind of put this one on hold because I know we'd be super low. We'd be super low. So this is a 3-2, 1,600 square foot. Let's look at all the comps and let's see what we could do. Now, I'm trying to think if I sent this one to the hedge fund or not. I might have. So this is a 3-2, just under 1,700 square feet, 2-car garage, and built 1974. Let's look at this one. This is all October. Not bad. I'm not crazy about the case. So like, this is not, you know, it's not up to, and it does have the in-ground pool though. So that's the big thing. you know, not super updated. But I like this, except it's got the pool. So that's kind of a big one. It did sell in October though. 3/2/1975. So this sold for $363. Now I like this. Why? Because this is like a perfect as is comp. Now the rehab on this property, I don't think doing like, well, let's see. So this sold in October. Oh yeah. So remember we looked at this and we're like, if they were to knock out the kitchen, now, if you remember, these people moving was really important to them. Or finding a new house. So we could maybe, hold on, let's go back to that. Yeah, let's look at before and after. Who bought it? Sunrock Capital. So they paid $250 for it. Dang. That was a good day for these guys. So they picked it up for $250 in May. And then about 2.5 months later, they finished the project and they listed it for $430, and they ended up selling at $415. Now it looks like they did a nice job, right? So this is probably a bit of an expensive rehab for the interior, you know. So if we were to hit this price, I would say probably like at least 40 for the rehab. So let's just, so if we do regular numbers, so if we did a 415 ARV times 0.7, we're at 290 minus 40K rehab, and then minus our, let's say, 10K wholesale fee. So we need to be at 240, 100 grand less. For these people, that'd probably be a hard sell. Let's try 415 times 0.92. And then we're going to subtract. So they're probably going to want to make, we'll say 40 grand on this kind of house. So minus 40K. That's what a flipper is going to want to make. Now, then minus rehab, which is another, we'll say 40K. And then minus our fee. Let's say 10K. So this is like the power of like, that's why I hate the 70% formula. I mean, it's got its value, but like when you start getting more specific with your numbers and your calculations, and even like for your market, dude, that's the difference between one wholesaler calling them up and making an offer at like 240, and then me calling up and making an offer 50 grand higher. Right? Crazy. So trying to think. So let's put together the offer we want to make for this person. So now the things that we do know, we know it needs a roof. Remember she told us about like the electrical, the panel, that thing. Where did I write it down? I know I wrote it down somewhere. That's fine. Not important. So for creating the offer, how do we want to create the offer in this one? So the thing is, it's going to be hard to get an end buyer to be okay. Like for them, they're gonna be like, dude, I don't want to have this on hold for 60 days and then they can just like say, nah, no thanks. An end buyer is going to have a hard time with that. An end buyer is also probably going to want to buy it now. Probably. I'm also just going to take, hold on, let's look at some more comps real quick. Let's see if we, so this is a 4-3. It's bigger. I'm not going to look at that. Also very kind of unique house. This looks like it's right on the water. This little pond, whatever there. Yeah, 4-2, you know, almost 2,300 square feet. Nah. And its lot is like double the size of ours. So really big lot, big house. Not our comp. Again, much bigger house. But it is good to see that like there are homes selling in this price, right? And it's not like for 535, it's not like we're seeing like a castle, right, on a hilltop. It's like, okay, like it's, yes, it's a bigger house. It's probably, you know, nicer on the inside, but it's not like a, oh my God, this is like totally different, right? So, but it's good to see that things are selling in that price point. Now, this was a little while ago though. Let's look at this 495. 5-3. Under contract right now. So that's a 4-3, 2,000 square feet. So this doesn't really help me. What about this one? 4-2, 1,800. All right, so it's a little bit bigger, but I like this price tag. Why did this sell for so much? Is that a pool in the backyard I see? Okay. Well, I mean, I like this though. So it's definitely got some differences. I think it's got the super unique bathroom. I think it's got some like unique things like this. It's got the in-ground pool, right? That's a big one. How big is the lot on this one? All right, about the same size. Oh, so this was a flip. So they bought it for $340. That's good to know. Who do you think I'm going to call on this house? Dude, actually, let's just call him right now. Property history. Huh. Wonder if this was like a live-in flip. Let's try to see who this person is. Alice. Wholesaling. True people search. Let's switch that up. There we go. City, let's do, where was this property? We'll do Longwood, Florida. Bro, could you imagine if it's like this 84-year-old woman just like swinging a hammer and doing her own living flips? Yo, that'd be so cool. Dude, she probably something. All right, no numbers for this person. I don't think it's gonna be the 84-year-old. I mean, this might be the woman that bought it and lived in it, but I highly doubt that she's the one flipping it. So what's the next best thing we're gonna do? We're gonna call up the agent, Nikki Bateman. All right, let's call her up. 7360.
Good morning, this is Nikki.
Hi, Nikki. This is Nathan. How you doing?
I'm wonderful, Nathan. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I've got probably a little bit of an unusual question for you.
I love those.
I know, just to kickstart the day. So I saw a property that you had sold right at the end of January on Rosebriar Drive in Longwood.
Yes, yes, sir.
I was wondering, so the seller on that house, I was just taking a quick look, and it looked like it was potentially a fix and flip. Was that the case or no?
No, we sold it to her a few years prior, little old lady, and when she moved into a skilled nursing facility, we moved her out, staged it, and sold it.
Got it. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm looking here now. It says 2019. I thought it said, for whatever reason, I thought it said 2022. Okay, because I was like, wow, they bought it in like November, and like they flipped that really quick. And then I looked at the owner, and it even showed like, oh, this one's like, likely to be like 80 years old. And I was like, she's probably not still flipping houses. Got it.
We work a lot with. I was in senior care before real estate, so we work a lot with estates, probates, kind of helping that family transition that journey from living independently or family caregivers to skilled nursing.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's very rewarding to help.
Yeah.
Especially caregivers kind of have that conversation. And it's usually we're the ones that can help them understand the risk of their assets by not at least isolating the property. So we love our little ladies.
Well, this conversation is kind of taking a funny turn. You never know where things go. I don't know if I'd ever be a good fit for you, but I know sometimes like we've bought homes to where they're either inherited properties. So I typically look for as investment properties. And I know sometimes we're able to kind of really help families if it's a unique situation, or sometimes I know the homes can there's a ton of stuff in there, or it's a lot of work, or whatever the case may be. I've seen it all, work with it all. I don't know if that's kind of ever something that you work with, but I know I've worked with agents.
I've got one that's about to go on our investor list. I actually was just talking to my real estate coach, and she's like, "Hey, why don't you send that to me?" Are you looking at a specific area? Because I have one. The owner just passed away. We were just working on some title issues. I'll tell you, they had a life estate and never filed it. So we're working with the title underwriter. Anyway, just fixing the paperwork. And we were going to open it up to investors this weekend. Probably going to put on the market for between 150 and 180. It's in a really unique area of Orlando. That's kind of one row of houses between commercial space off of 50. But three of them around the corner that people have gone in and totally flipped them. And I'm not an overly optimistic comp person, but they were flipping for like 220. But the family just wants to cash it out and move on.
Okay.
But I'll include you in my list when we're all ready. I have to call the attorney this afternoon, so I have the right people to sign the paperwork. And I was actually thinking you know, I might just put it on the regular MLS, but I just don't think that they want to deal with that because it's got, you know, it's going to be sold as is with everything in it.
Got it. I know. Yeah, it's funny. The house. So I'm actually looking to work out an offer kind of right in this neighborhood on the house that I called you on. And I know sometimes I'm able to kind of create a really unique kind of, I look for, you know, what's the situation going on, and then what are kind of all the pieces I can put together that perfectly fits kind of their needs. Like, for example, the house that I'm looking at, their thing is it's older couple. And, you know, it needs a roof. It's got some electrical issues. It needs some updates. So it won't pass for insurance, and they're having a lot of issues kind of with that. But their big thing is they are working with an agent. They have it listed, but they're super nervous about not being able to find a new place in time. And I know for them, so one of the offers I talked about is, well, hey, what if I was able to make an offer for you to where, you know, it wouldn't matter about, you know, the inspection. Of course, we can deal with all those the things that we need to do with the house. But what if I also made it contingent to where, you know, I don't know the time frame yet. We could do 30 days, 45 days, or 60 days, something like that, to where you could have somebody like me where it's, hey, this is set up, we're good to go. And if for whatever reason, if 45 days from now, you're like, look, we can't find a house, you can just cancel the agreement with absolutely, you know, no issues, nothing. For them, that's like a huge stress reliever. And they're like, oh my goodness. That's it. So yeah, just kind of an example of like, sometimes I'm able to kind of put, you know, unique things for the situation. This house, so when you say investor list, got it. So it sounds kind of like a pocket listing.
Well, we're opening it up to just go through because it's gonna. I mean, it needs. It's in pretty good shape. They're trying to save a little money as well, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get you anything but investors already. And I can't have, again, until we figure out who actually owns it based on the attorney. Right. I can't even do a listing agreement, but I am reaching out to some of our investor groups that like, hey, are you interested? So our intention was to open it up while we're waiting on this paperwork to some investors to let them take a look at it instead of doing traditional showings because, you know, again, it's got the previous owner's stuff in it still, right. And they would prefer not to do that.
Got it.
But if that's something you'd like to be included in, I'm happy to.
I would absolutely love to take a look at it. Definitely sounds like something that's right up my alley. I love houses that, yeah, if there's stuff in it, great. You know, I always tell people, hey, you know, anything that they want or that's a value, please feel free to take. But everything else, like, you can just leave it there and I'll handle it. You know, they don't need to get a dumpster or anything like that, or clear stuff out. And then, what was I going to say? Oh, the other thing is I also, whenever I kind of, if it's property that you have, I'm always kind of coming to the table unrepresented. So happy to have you represent me. And I always leave that ball totally in your court. You know, please, by all means, you know, feel free to keep the full commission. You know, I think you guys more than deserve it. But if it's a unique scenario to where you would like to offer it as a discount to the seller, you know, please feel free to, you know, you can do that too.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Do me a favor. This is my cell phone. Text me your information, and I will add you to this. I don't expect. Let's see. Today's Wednesday. I don't expect to make any calls to set up times until Friday. But if it comes available earlier, I'll release all the information to you.
Okay, perfect. And do you have like any pictures or anything like that of the inside?
No, nope, not yet. I did a walkthrough. I have the keys, and everything's just been on hold because I don't have anyone to sign a commission agreement with me yet until it clears and we can verify that they'll accept the life estate. And again, we're just going to the underwriter. So the attorney who prepared it has to send an affidavit to the underwriter, and then we'll be good. So as soon as I have that, then I'll be able to open it up to everybody.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it sounds like a plan. Yeah, let me, what I can do is, I'm sorry, you said text you your
contact information, and I'll save you as an investor on my phone. Perfect. And I'll reach out to you on Friday.
I love, well, man, Nikki, it's so funny. We ended up, conversation took a total turn. But
you can help out my little old lady. conversations.
That sounds like a plan. Well, I'd love to be able to help them out if I'm able to, and if not, I totally understand. If I could ever point you guys, to someone that I think would be a better help to you, happy to do that too.
Okay, well, wonderful. All right, well, you have a great day.
You as well, Nikki. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'll be in touch.
Don't forget to send me that text.
I'm gonna send to you right now.
All right, wonderful. Take care.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Come on, guys. Come on. Jeez. That is what I'm talking about. So, man, so many good things happened in that conversation. Let's freaking talk about it. So, one, we call this person, right? We're like, dude. Now, I just pulled, one of you guys probably saw it, but yeah, I just pulled a duh moment. So, for whatever reason, I thought this was November 27th, 2022. My fiance said, she's like, be quiet. The baby's sleeping. So I thought this said November 27th, 2022. And over here, they sold it on January 31st of this year. So I'm like, oh, dude, somebody bought this. And they did a real quick, 3-4 week rehab and listed and sold the property. Well, honestly, it'd be shorter than that. But I was like, sweet, they totally flipped it. And let's look the person up. And so we go down here and we're like, okay, the owner is Alice Griffith. So it's not an LLC. We're like, it's a little unusual, but it happens. We're like, oh, maybe it was a live and flip. And then we look her up and we're like, this person's unknown. They had no numbers. And we're like, the other person is 84. I'm like, she's probably not flipping houses. That would be my guess. I could be wrong. So we call up the agent because I wasn't going to call, I'm not going to call up an 84-year-old one. I'm not going to bother her. So I was like, let me just call the agent. So we came up here, we called this agent and we're like, hey, was this a fix and flip? And she's like, no, not at all. And so could have just been like, oh, okay, thanks. Have a great day. Bye. Which that was about to happen. But she was like, no, it's an old lady, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, I work with, and then she went in and explained I work with old people and probates it. And as soon as she said that, dude, my ears perked. I don't know if you guys kind of had that ding. That's when I was like, oh, this is going to be such a good conversation. So we had to one, you got to recognize that because the conversation could have just died there. There are investors that have called Nikki on the phone and then got off the phone, right? So we're just like, oh yeah, I work with older people and kind of probate and stuff. Like, oh, okay, cool. Well, no, this one wasn't a fix and flip. So, hey, great chatting with you. Have a nice day. There's people that were that's been the case. 100% guaranteed. But we jumped on it, right? So we're like, oh, cool. Unpack that for me. What's that like? And she's like, yeah, we've actually, and then she's like, oh, we actually have this one that's a perfect fit for investors. And they sent it out to an investor list, right? And guys, I hope we're asking those obvious questions, right? So I asked, oh, well, do you happen to work with investors or anyone, like me that can make a unique offer? Or, and then she's like, oh yeah, we've got this one. And she's like, we sent it out to our investor list. And then I asked the obvious question of oh, is do you mean a pocket listing? Or because what I'm trying to clarify is do you post everything no matter what on the MLS? And then you just the investors that you hit them up and you're like, oh, hey, we just listed this one, take a look at it, which is, still can be useful, but it's not really what I'm looking for. And she's like, no, this one, it's off market. I'm like, perfect. And she's like, this one, it needs work. We're selling it as is. Now she'd said they're looking to list it between 150 and 180. And then she was like, oh, there's flips that guys have done for 220. I really hope she's not thinking oh yeah, you can buy it for 180 and you can flip it for 220 and make 40 grand. We're gonna have to look at the comps on that. But it's the perfect situation, right? dude, these are exactly what we're looking for. And now I went in depth. Like, you could tell, like, she's got love for her clients, which is great. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to make sure. So I went kind of a little deep in explaining, like, my offers, like how I operate, like the example of the offer that we're thinking of making on the other house, the whole reason why we're calling on this one. The reason why I kind of went a little above and beyond in doing that is because I just really wanted to convey, because some people, they have the wrong outlook of like, oh, dude, like investors, like you guys are just vultures, like trying to rob people of their equity. Now, I think she sounds much more intelligent than that. I don't think she thinks that way at all. But just in case, I want to explain, like, look, no, I'm like, whatever you think of that, like, I'm not one of those. Like, that's not the case. Like, no, I'm here to like help people too. And yes, just like you, like we're all here to make a profit in the process. So I think we got to do that. And dude, that was a great conversation. So let me text her right now. That was a number, right? 7360. Yes, it was. All right. Hi, Nikki. Yo, and definitely going to be somebody that we add to our CRM, because like those are some of the best deals, like the inherited properties, or because it's like you've kind of got two versions. It's like there's, sometimes it's kind of, you get the older people where they're like, bruh, like I'm good. Like I don't really need the money, 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever. They're like, not going to make a difference for me. Or it's an inherited property and they're just like, dude, this is free money, but I want it now. And sometimes like it's an inherited house and people are like, dude, like I can't afford this house. Like I can't make the payments on it. I can't make, whatever. Like I need this thing gone because it's actually an expense for me. So yeah, that's what's kind of great. And when it's like free money or just extra money, people are cool. Like they'll take the speed and convenience every time, almost every time. All right. Hi, Nikki. This is Nathan Valle. It's great chatting with you on the phone. It's great chatting with you on the phone about the, I don't want to say investment property. You can email me more information on the investment opportunity at I4, right? That's, yeah, we're I4 Express buyers at gmail.com. I'm also going to say, please feel free. This is also my personal cell. So please feel free to reach out anytime. What a nice lady. All right, let me save her name in my phone. Nikki Bateman. RE agent, Orlando. Okay. Cool. Cool. Now let's kind of throw all this in CRM. Nikki Bateman, Keller Williams. Let's get her phone number here. Property address. We'll just throw this one here for right now. We'll just say off market. Follow-up specific market, Florida. Follow-up date. What's today? Today's Wednesday. I want to touch base with her on Friday if I haven't heard from her. She works with elderly and probate situations. She does get houses all the time that are a good fit for investors. And as is cash office. Okay. Follow up. So today's date, 3/8/23. Just going to email a pocket listing that is a good fit investors. She sends out we'll say as is type deals to her investor list. All right, so she's going to email pocket listing that is a good fit for investors. And add me to her list. Has a lot of clutter. Said they were thinking of 150K, 180K list price. It's kind of a big range, isn't it? $30,000 spread of like, yeah, we're thinking of that now. The funny thing is she might have been doing the same. I mean, yeah, probably the same thing I would do, right? It's the same thing we do. We give a wide range. Just give me a thumbs up. Said flips nearby. Selling for $220. Now, I don't know if that means like before they were rehabbed, right? Like they're buying them at $220. I don't know. We'll see. Really doesn't matter. Either way, it's like, dude, she's getting the opportunities that we want, and she's looking for people like me. And did you also notice, like, my thing is I'm curious to how big her investor list is. I hope it's not huge. But it also, she made it sound like, dude, if you can be the person that's able to like give what my people need, you know, my clients need every time. She's like, dude, like she definitely made it sound like she's happy to have one go-to person that meets all of her and her clients' needs. And we can be that person, guys. That is the goal. All right. Let's save this. Cool. All right. Man, we got on a tangent there, but that's what you call a really good tangent. Can't believe we almost called up an 84-year-old woman being like, yo, I saw this nice flip you did. I saw this nice flip you did. And she'd be like, what? I don't flip houses. Guys, like side tip. If you're doing any direct to seller marketing, if you get, if on the phone, it sounds like a really old person. Guys, always confirm with a family member. Be like, hey, is there a family? And don't be like, oh, well, like, I don't want to bring a family member into the deal. And like, they possibly kill it. Dude, no, do the right thing. Call a family, because I've had conversations with, and this is from my personal experience, I've had conversations to where like we're working out a deal and I'm like, dude, this doesn't make sense. Like, bro, the price that she's telling me that she wants, like, we're about to make like 200 grand on this house. And I'm even like, I'm like, are you sure? Like you don't want to list it? Like, you could get more money. Like, I'm doing all these things. Well, short story long, dude, it's like the one was in like a nursing home, right? And she did not have the capacity, right? And then she, mentally was not healthy. And dude, that sucked, because I'm like, wow, not because of my wasted time, but just like the fact that it even got that far. Because I ended up talking with the brother, or not the brother, I think it was the son, and he's like, yeah, he's like, she gets calls all the time, and like people try to get her to sign stuff, and I'm like, dude, that's terrible. I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, yeah, I'll make sure like I take her off. I'll try to put her on the DNC list. And then I kind of gave him, I was like, yeah, this is what you should do. But yeah, so just guys, if you ever talk with an older person, just like double check, do the right thing. We're in the business of helping people. Okay, so back to this house. So we were looking at comps. So we do like this house. It did sell for $470. It had the pool though, right? This one sold for $495. Oh, that was big. So what's active right now? So this dude, let's see if this was a flip. Ooh, this is before and after box. I like that. Huh. I mean, I definitely threw some paint in there. They did some stuff in the ceiling, like they put these things in. It's got a pool. So this has got a pool, and they're still, so it's been listed for 21 days, and they're at 430. So that doesn't really help us. What did they list at? Huh. It's interesting. So 421, 429, they increased to 440 and then decreased back to 429. I don't know if that was a flip though. Well, so that doesn't help us a whole bunch, because that's got a pool and it's not selling, and it had some stuff done to it, and like it's nice, it's cleared out on the inside. When did this one sell for 415? In October. Let's see. That's too big. Let's go back at these actives. It's 4.2, so this is a little bit bigger. Let's for 430. So I'd have a really hard time trying to sell people on a 430 sale price. 415 might be a bit of a hard sell. But that's what I would push. I would push, you could get 415. Let's look at some of these solds. Let's look at the recent ones. 495. So I'm not going to look at that. Way bigger house. Also, it's brick. Let's look at this one. We didn't look at this one, but let's just take a quick peek of what the interior looks like. Okay, so this one potentially was a flip. So they bought it at 380. Man, it's got that pool. Pool's killer for us. It was offer pad. All right, let's see what what else we got. Yeah, we've already looked at this one. So I don't like this house. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath. It's bigger. It's also, just from the outside, it's got that kind of unique look. Not even gonna click on that. 875. 3.2. I think this was the one that we liked. Or this was, we looked at this one, right? Does this have a pool? Good gracious. It's got a pool. And it's right on this pond. Now, the nice thing is the inside is definitely dated. Like, I'd say our interior is better than this one. I'd like, even though it has the pool, I'd feel comfortable saying, and like, this isn't as nice of a pool as the other ones. I'd feel comfortable right now, 400 to 415 ARV for rehab. And that's sold at end of December. So these are all 4.2s, which I'm not crazy about. 363. Let's look at this 363 quick. Dude, did they really buy it for that? I feel like there's got to be a mistake there somewhere. 77 grand. So this house sold one at, is it an island? Like, I want to know, is there a wall right here where the person's taking the picture from, or is this like open? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think he's standing up against this when he's taking this. So I'd say not the ideal kitchen. It's like a really weird kitchen. These pictures are just like trash. So I actually like this, because this looks like, I mean, yeah, it needs some stuff done to it. I think this is what ours could have sold for if it didn't have the roof and the electric panel thing going on. So for this, we really want to be, I mean, I kind of want to pitch like a 280K offer. I think what I would like to do is make the offer contingent for 30 days, but give them up to like a 60-day close. It's a little long, but it might be what we need to do. So 30-day contingent. 60-day close. Let's see, what else could we put? I mean, obviously, yeah, it'd be a cash offer, right? We're buying as is. What's the address of this property? We're looking at a different one. So I'm going to push 415 as an ARV. 6-day close, cash offer as is. Only one walkthrough. Now, I might even go lower than 280 just because it's not at the price point guys really want to be at. Right, we're selling at that. I should actually be more, you know what? I'm going to push a 415 ARV, but I want to lock it up at a price that has, you know, everything included, including my fees, probably at like a 390-ish. I'm going to want to be conservative with that ARV because it's that higher price point. And guys are like, you know, they're really nervous about flipping right now at that above median price point. So let's go 270-ish. I'm probably going to look a little bit more and fine tune that offer price, but yeah, I'm probably going to actually be closer to 270. And then I just got to figure out for the walkthrough. Ideally, what I'm going to do is, like, if they were to say yes, I'm going to set, like, before I sign the agreement, I'm going to reach out to my guys. And we also want to make this assignable. Because double closes are just going to, like, they're just super expensive for us to do, between, like, the tax and all that stuff. Now, if the buyer's willing to pay for all that, you know, cool. But yeah, so I think that's what we're going to go with. Only one walkthrough. That's what was important to them. As is, it's going to be contingent for up to 30 days. We're going to give them 60 days total to close. So they have 30 days to make a decision. If they want to, like, hey, no, we can't make this happen, or like, yeah, let's do it. I like it. I just got to look a little bit more at the offer price. But otherwise, I think that'd be good. I think if we were able to get this around like 270, I think it'd be a strong deal for sure. And it'd be a really good offer for them, you know, because the offer we're putting together meets all those things that they're looking for, right? Because right now they're stressing about finding a new house and like that. That's the big thing for them. They want that security. We'll see how that goes. I'm also, hopefully I'll have an update for you guys tomorrow on what Diana gets back to me about kind of the offer price we were talking to her this morning about. That could be awesome if we could make that happen. And until then, guys, we will be back tomorrow for day 27, 9 a.m. Eastern. Until then, guys, be good, make some calls, create some relationships. And I'll see you guys then. Take care, gang.